So this is session 5 of things that can wound us. Yesterday we broached the topic of rejection, and today I want to look at one very big area of rejection, and that is divorce. At some stage somebody stood alongside you and they promised to share their life with you, they promised to be with you through thick and thin, and now they're gone. For some reason they no longer want that. That's rejection, and it's very painful. So I want to talk about divorce and the wounding that it brings. Now in Genesis chapter 2 verse 24 it says, "For this reason a man will leave his father and mother and be united to his wife, and they will become one flesh." And then Jesus picked this up when Pharisees asked him about divorce. Jesus said, "But at the beginning of creation God made them male and female. For this reason a man will leave his father and mother and be united to his wife, and the two will become one flesh. So they are no longer two, but one. Therefore, what God has joined together, let no man separate." The point here is that God joins people together, and the joining together makes one, not two. And if it's something that God has done, then undoing it will always bring damage. Now I have my little aid here. It's a sponge on one side, and a sponge is useful for wiping things and holding the suds. The other side is a scraper, and a scraper is very useful for the tough dirt. Two different things, but when they're put together they make a more useful thing, because if I'm sponging, then the scraper holds the sponge firm. If I'm scraping, the sponge is holding the suds, and I don't have to keep dipping into the suds. So together it makes a more useful thing than the two separate. However, should I try to separate the two? This one's left with a lot of the scraper stuck to it. They've both been damaged. Divorce is tearing apart of what God has joined as one, and both parties get hurt. Now it's not necessarily the time of divorce where the major hurt is, it's the tearing that's been happening, and possibly over years. And sometimes the actual settlement of divorce is quite a relief. When a couple split, our basic need to be accepted for who we are is taken from us. Now there can be healing from a divorce, but to simply move on to someone else is not necessarily the answer. If you go into a new relationship with bits of the old one still stuck, then it brings complications into the new relationship. Divorce is not God's plan, but it happens. There is forgiveness, there is a chance for a new start, but we do have to be honest about what we did wrong in the marriage. We have to be willing to face up to this and to confess it. We also need to be willing to forgive the hurts that were done to us in that relationship, and that's what will set us free. So it takes honest humility to confess our part, our failure, to offer forgiveness, and then to receive the freedom to start over again. It is actually much better if we're not too hasty in choosing whom we marry, and if we're willing to work at the health of our marriage by committing to always consider the best interest of our partner. Because if both partners do that, then both partners receive.